Have you ever noticed how the universe seems to fall silent the moment you begin asking too loudly? It's not ignoring you. It's waiting. Not for more questions, but for your surrender. Because there is a threshold, a point beyond which your voice becomes too loud to hear the answer. The moment you stop asking, the universe finally speaks back. There comes a time in your path when asking becomes echo. You repeat the same prayers, you script the same affirmations, you cry the same tears, and still, nothing moves, nothing responds. It's not punishment, it's preparation. You see, the universe speaks in stillness. It doesn't shout over your questions. It waits until your frequency is soft enough to receive, until your energy becomes listening. You weren't meant to beg the cosmos. You were meant to resonate with it. And resonance doesn't come from wanting, it comes from being. There's a subtle moment, almost imperceptible, when you stop chasing signs and start becoming one. That is when the dialogue begins. When you constantly ask, you anchor yourself in lack. You affirm separation. I don't have. I don't know. I'm not there yet. But the universe doesn't speak in words. It speaks in vibration. And lack sign is a closed circuit. It loops within itself. It's like screaming into the wind and wondering why you can't hear the breeze. True communication happens when your inner noise turns into spaciousness, when silence becomes your offering. Stillness is not absence. It is presence in its purest form, a quiet so full, it begins to pulse. And in that pulse, the answers arrive, softly, without form, without proof, but real. Stillness is a portal. It opens when the question dissolves into trust. And in that trust, you stop reaching. You start receiving. Have you noticed? When you least expect it, a sign appears. A message finds you. A synchronicity unfolds. That's not coincidence. That's coherence. You aligned without trying. Because trying too hard blocks the current. Desperation repels. Presence invites. You become magnetic when you stop gripping the outcome and start radiating the energy of trust. The universe listens to your state, not your sentences. To surrender is not to give up, it's to give over. To release control not because you're weak, but because you finally remember. You were never doing this alone. There is an intelligence beneath all things. A frequency that remembers your path even when you forget. And it doesn't speak to your fear. It speaks to your faith. Surrender is not silence. It's communication at a higher octave. Sometimes the answer is a feeling, a sudden clarity, a pull toward something or someone. Sometimes the answer is emptiness, not because nothing is there, but because everything is being rearranged. Sometimes the answer is delay, a sacred pause that holds a better timing than your mind can understand. And sometimes the answer is you. Becoming. Changing. Becoming the kind of soul that no longer needs to ask. Because you've become the answer. You are not here to force the flow. You are here to open the channel. Like a vessel carved by silence, your soul becomes a sacred cup the moment you stop trying to fill it. Emptiness isn't a flaw. It's a preparation. And when you become the space, the message has a home. The universe never stopped speaking. You just needed to stop, to truly listen. You want proof. But what if the proof is not a sign, but a shift? Not something you see, but something you feel. Your breathing slowed. Your fear melted. Your longing softened into knowing. That is the answer. That is the sign that your frequency has changed. You no longer ask to receive. You receive because you've aligned. You stopped knocking, and the door opened from within. So here is the mystery. The universe never forgot you, never ignored you. It was simply waiting for your vibration to become receptive. You weren't abandoned, you were being attuned. You weren't lost, you were being emptied so the message could echo deeper. You were never meant to find the answer. You were meant to become the frequency that no longer needs to ask. Close your eyes. Feel your breath. Not as something to control, but as something ancient, wise and rhythmic. Feel the space around you. It is full. Even in silence, something listens. You don't need to know how. You only need to allow. Let go of the question. And listen. Listen from your chest, from your bones, from the space behind your thoughts. The moment you stop asking, the universe begins to sing, and its language has always been vibration. If this stirred something in you, perhaps it was meant to. Share it with another soul who's learning to quiet the mind and trust the silence. Because sometimes, silence is where the sacred answers live.